And joining me now is Executive Director of the Menzies Research Centre, Nick Cater. Nick, you wrote a fantastic piece in today's Australian, and you talked about this utopian fantasy that's embraced by the majority in a handful of inner city seats like Richmond, where you've got the Greens and the Socialists and these loopy, unachievable policies that they are embracing wholeheartedly.
Yeah, it's extraordinary to me that the Liberal Party bought into this, that they went actually beyond what the Albanese government was doing in Canberra. They went to 50% renewables.
Oh, no, they're extreme right, according to a professor of politics and Raf Epstein. They need to go more left, apparently.
But look, if a Liberal leader wants to present a target like that, he has an obligation to show us how it can be done, and how it can be done without raising energy prices. Because if he's got a way of doing that, then he's a genius, because this has not been done anywhere else in the world. It is absolutely impossible to achieve 50% by 2030 without a radical change to the economy, closing at least 2 out of the 3 coal-fired power stations. And since it's made it, the Victorian government, with the connivance of the opposition, has made it so difficult to actually get gas out of the ground, there's no alternative. So this is crazy stuff. It's got no substance behind it, and I object to it on those grounds.
And not only are they not getting the gas out of the ground, and we've got a lot of reserve there, but they're going to have households get rid of their gas appliances and have electric ones that even put more pressure on the grid. It is crazy stuff. We're seeing the impact of these sort of policies, not even that radical, but these sort of policies in places like Germany and the UK, and it's crippling for those economies. And we're saying, yes, we'll have some of that. But you also argue the big swings against Labor in the outer suburbs show that the Liberals really missed an opportunity there to exploit that sentiment, that those aspirational voters, those working class voters who have kind of lost touch with Labor and are looking for a new party who actually represents their interests and represents their values. But the Liberals continue to ignore that massive voter base.
There was a big backlash against Dan Andrews in some of those seats, particularly double digits. But the Liberal Party were only successful in getting part of that. A lot of it went to Family First. It surprisingly well, 4 or 5% of the vote in some seats. The LDP did well. And they are two parties that have expressly rejected crazy targets that would wreck the economy and send prices higher. That's what I think the Liberal Party should have done. They should have had the guts to stand out against those extreme targets where they've got nothing attached to it. Because the people who should be voting for the Liberal Party and the National parties are the ones that are going to feel the pain from higher prices of energy, higher prices at the petrol pumps, not the inner city people in Richmond with their champagne and oysters.
And at an election, just like the federal election, where cost of living was the biggest issue, the Liberals had nothing to offer because they were backing Labor's energy policies 100%. Their targets were just as crazy. So they really couldn't offer anything consequential to people who were looking for some relief.
The number one issue by far was cost of living. And as you'd expect, when mortgage rates are going up, when people are paying on average $1,500 or more a month, and yet it was virtually ignored by the Liberals, and they went ahead with an energy policy that would undoubtedly have put energy prices even higher.
Absolutely. Nick Cater, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Thank you, Rita.